I'm talking and listening on that channel. And then if I want to coordinate with the CEO in Bakersfield, I can just tap the Bakersfield button. One thing to note, if for those of you guys that haven't had a chance to play with it yet, if I can, on the bottom half of the circle, I can select the listen, but it does not engage the talk button. However, if I do the talk button on the top, it engages both talk and listen, right? So just something there. Most oftentimes, I would imagine that you're probably going to want to talk if you're listening. So it's probably easier and quicker to just select the talk button at the top of the circle. A couple of things. Let's see. As we arrow through the groups,
single tap versus double tap.
Yeah. Okay, so if I want to, I'm going to arrow back to group 1. So single tap of the middle button latches it on. So that means it's hands-free and the microphone is on, even if my finger is not on the button. If I just press and hold, now, who just did that? Was that somebody did it? I don't know. Anyway, so if I just press and hold, the microphone is only engaged while my finger is on the button. And then as soon as I pull my finger off of the button, off the circle, the microphone unlatches and I'm no longer broadcasting. Does that answer that, what you were trying to clarify, Nate? Okay, cool. The other thing, I believe you all have this, is in the upper right corner. And I'm going to pick on those of you in the Charlotte Rescue Mission, just because you guys, I see you right there. In the upper right corner, can you give me a thumbs up if you see the yellow word users? You guys see that? Yeah? Okay, great. Yes. So if I click on that now, in here, so this now pulls up the entire list of every single user. So now if I need to do a point-to-point, it's called point-to-point communication. So one person to one person, as opposed to one person to a channel where there may be 3 people listening on the channel, I can pull up that user list. And now I can just, if I need to talk to Tim in Great Falls, I can just talk and let's see. So now I'm holding down the talk button and I'm only talking to Great Falls Tim, even if he's in the middle of a conversation. Now, that's the one disadvantage, is I have no real way of, before I hit that talk button, I have no real way of listening in to see if Tim's in the middle of a conversation. So I would probably maybe only use that if you have already established some form of, hey, I'm trying to talk to Tim, before you do that. Or in an emergency setting. So again, standard operating procedure for Intercom is to kind of announce kind of who you are, say, hey, this is Fresno Chris, I'm looking to talk to you guys there in Charlotte, and then proceed with the conversation. All right, I think that is it. A couple of things that we've ran into just over the last couple of days of you all just having some issues. One issue that has popped up is that you cannot be on an active phone call while using the Unity app. Okay, that's because of the audio hardware routing within your mobile device. So if you have the Intercom app open and a phone call comes in, it's going to shut down your Intercom app, at which point you have to, like an iPhone user, you have to swipe up to stop the app, and then you have to relaunch it. I'm an iPhone user, so I don't know what the equivalent is in the Android world. But just know that the phone call and Unity Intercom do not play nicely, do not coexist. So we found that out earlier today. So let's see, trying to think. What else? Nate, anything else that's coming to mind?
Yes, one of the questions is what happens if we miss an announcement, an all group announcement?
Well, let's see.
I think you ask, just ask if you think an announcement went through, send back to mission control and ask if they missed an announcement or what, to repeat it.
Yeah. Yep. It is up to you. I did not send the credentials and instruction email to your CEOs unless you requested it. You can't, like I mentioned in the tutorial video, it is possible if you want to, where the CEO could have their Bluetooth device in their ear while on the bench, and you locally can then communicate amongst the 3 of you. Just be aware, like in the scenario that I just kind of explained, where if another site is calling in to coordinate a conversation and your CEO has their earpiece in and is in the middle of a conversation, they will then hear that traffic on your channel, which some CEOs could handle. Some CEOs may get distracted by what's going on in their ear and then become disengaged with the conversation or miss something. So that is up to you and your preference, and your CEO's preference. But it is possible, and I'm happy to create a user account for your CEO if that's something that you guys want to do.
Another question is, our statement is, you can't have more than one person logged in on the same account. Is that correct?
That is correct. Every person has to have unique credentials. So if you were trying to think that you could get away with my instruction email and then forwarding that on to 5 people of your staff, it's not going to work. So please shoot me an email and I will be happy, probably after this Zoom call, or maybe once the Zoom call kind of settles in a little bit, because I can't do both at the same time, but I'm happy to create all those credentials that you need to support your team. Absolutely. You just shoot. Oh, for those of you techies.
Let me cut you off for a second. I would also, like, if you're going to add another person with credentials, please send that like right away, because it does take Chris a bit of time to set it up, and he's not going to do it next Wednesday. So do it, send that request, in the next day, and Chris will get that sent out to you as soon as possible.
Yep. And to Nate's point, I'd rather create 10 user accounts right now for anybody and everybody that you think could possibly use it. And I'd rather create that today, as opposed to you saying, oh my gosh, what about this person next Wednesday, when I'm in the throes of setting up everything happening in Fresno. The bandwidth is probably not going to be there next week. Oh, shoot. Oh, what I was going to start to say is, for you guys that are techies, there is, and that you're using Mac laptops, there is a Mac desktop client for this that basically mimics what you're seeing right now on your Mac laptop. You can't be logged in on both your phone and your Mac, but if you prefer to use a Mac, the Mac client, you can download that from the App Store and then use your laptop instead of your mobile device. So that's what I'll be using at Mission Control, just because it may be easier. So I just wanted to call that out, and if you guys want to do that as well. So, all right. Were those questions coming in on the chat, Nate? Because I'm not seeing the chat.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions coming in?
I don't see any that you haven't already addressed.
Perfect. Just so that if you guys haven't figured it out, the channels are the first 4 letters of the city, right? So you're just going to have to go in alphabetical order, kind of scroll through. Some of them are pretty self-explanatory. Some of them are not.
We've been messaging on the side with Citygate while you've been talking, Chris. We're going to create a chart also that we'll email.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, initially I had them all as 3-letter airport codes, and then as we started to kind of play around with it, I forget one of the cities. I think it was Yakima, I think, and then their airport code was TU something. And it's like totally not related at all. So we figured let's eliminate confusion, or at least decrease confusion. All right, I think that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. You want to mute yourself, Chris, and then just run a little bit of a test on the app itself.
Yeah. So I'm going to mute my microphone on Zoom, and then I will talk. And you guys, by all means, play amongst yourselves, like within your cities. If you guys have a team of 3 or 4 of you, kind of talk amongst yourselves, try it out, check it out. Definitely encourage you if you want to chime in to the Fresno channel. So I just engaged my listen on Fresno channel. Happy to talk to you guys and play it out. So, all right, muting on Zoom.
Let me add one other thing, is that you can, this app is working for the way past the event. So between now and next Thursday, you're welcome to test it out with each other, go back and forth. It doesn't matter. It's not only working at certain times, it's working 24/7.
Correct. Though the one caveat, I think, Nate, when you and I were testing it very initially, be aware that if you have the app open on your phone, like you haven't swiped up, again, I'm referring to an iPhone. If you haven't swiped up to close it and you have the listen on the Fresno channel and somebody decides to use that, you could be in a meeting and all of a sudden your phone starts to listen and that gets broadcast. So just be aware that if you have not shut the app down completely, you will hear broadcasts on the intercom. So,
All right, let's
cool.
go.
Hey, real quick, I'm unmuting on Zoom. I'm seeing some people in the chat ask for credentials. Please email that in. I'm using my email inbox as a checklist. If you do not have my email address, you can email Bethany or Serene at Citygate, and they will get that email to me. I am not going to pay attention to the chat. I'm going to use my email inbox as my my checklist.
All righty. We good with Unity?
There are a few comments in the chat. One is when Amarillo spoke up a moment ago, the Frez button lit up, not the Amarillo button.
Ooh, I didn't hear that.
Amarillo, do you want to try that again? This was before the call. This is when we were testing things out before the call, because I noticed it as well.
That
So before the call, several missions were kind of using this, and whenever they spoke on the app, it was just the Fresno that lit up. It was none of the other ministries that were cities that were listed that spoke up. It was only Fresno, even if someone else was talking.
I think it's because we were talking from Fresno. We didn't know to not select Fresno on the talk. So that's what was happening. We had selected Fresno on the top left of the dial, and so it looked like we were talking from Fresno.
Chris, do you think
yeah, so yeah, no, so that completely makes sense. So yes, if you have so here, I'm going to share my screen real quick. And Warsaw, I heard you, but I on the comm. Okay, so real quick, so right now I am listening. You can see on the bottom of the circle, I'm listening right now to all six of these channels. Okay, if I have the green Fresno engaged up top and I'm in Eugene and I go to talk, I am now talking to both Fresno and Eugene at the same time. So is that maybe the gentleman in Miracle Hill Ministries, is that the scenario that you were?
Maybe not. I might be
okay.
totally wrong.
Okay. I'm trying to think through, Bethany, to that question and think through what the scenario would be.
So question on that. I think I know what's happening. Whenever the person who's talking in the app speaks, does it light up with the yellow at the bottom versus
Yes.
at the top when it's just
yeah, so like right now you can right now right now you can see how they're on the bottom.
Right.
They were just lighting up yellow. That means that there is traffic or there's talking going on those channels.
Okay, but whenever you want to talk to a certain group, you select that group in the top menu for under talk.
Correct. Yes. If you want to talk to the group, you have to have the top corresponding channel highlighted or selected green. Now, the one thing that I apologize again, Nate opened up the meeting that this is the first time we're doing this. So grace abounds, right? We are going to extend so much grace over the next week, right? Right, everybody? So what I realized or thought was going to happen is by putting the all and the Fresno channels on every single page, that if that it would react the same way on page number 1 as it did on page 10. What I'm realizing is that is not the case. Even though it's the same exact channel, it's just a different instance of it. I still have to have it selected on the page that I'm on, if that makes any sense, which I think maybe for all of you sites, it doesn't really matter. For me, for us in Mission Control in Fresno, if I have to make sure that I'm listening to the Fresno channel on all my pages. If somebody on page 5 or group 5 chimes in and I don't have that listen engaged, then I'm not going to hear you. So that's a learning right there. So yeah, again, not sure if that answers the question, but.
And then another kind of comment, the all button for the top part is grayed out. Is that correct?
That is correct. So because it's everybody, there are only 2 or 3 people that I have enabled to have the ability to talk to all. So that helps everybody at the sites, to make sure that we're cutting it, because again, the idea is that you're listening to all 24/7, the entire duration of the event. And I didn't want anybody and everybody to be able to talk on that channel and then cause a ton of traffic that would potentially interrupt.
That makes sense.
So to put it another way, only Chris is able to talk to all, or a couple of people. Eugene could not talk to all.
Correct.
But Eugene can talk to any of the other groups of people in a matrix kind of format. So.
Yep.
And do you know if the app can be set up on a laptop versus a phone?
Yeah. So from what I understand, the laptop application is only available on Mac, not Windows. But yes, you can download, if you go to the Mac App Store, you can search for Unity Intercom and you can download it on your laptop. And it kind of just mimics exactly what you see, what I'm screen sharing. It looks like exactly like your mobile phone. You cannot, however, from what I understand, you cannot be logged in to your mobile device instance as well as the laptop instance at the same time. It's a one or the other.
Okay. And then you can tell me if this question was answered, Shelter KC, but can we go over the difference between page, channel, and group real quick?
Sorry, yes. Channel are the things that surround, oh my gosh, let me share my screen again. Sorry, I just turned it off. Yeah, and I just saw that somebody comment about career at ClearCom. Yes, you're all going to have careers at ClearCom, absolutely. Okay, so channels are what we're referring to that is around the center yellow wheel, okay? So that is a channel. Fresno is a channel. Denver is a channel. I think that's Eau Claire is a channel. Eugene is a channel. Evansville is a channel. Those are all channels. Groups are the groupings of those channels that you can arrow through left to right. I was mistaken and I was calling it pages. Eliminate the term page from your vernacular for this for the app. It's channels and groups. Really, that's the only 2 things you guys need to worry about.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Chris. I think that catches us up on the chat. If something didn't get caught up, please continue to put those things in the chat and we can circle back around.
And sorry, Bethany, real quick, something to bring to know, Nate, I forget if you said this or not. For the actual event next week, the chat in the Zoom will not be active. It will not be enabled. So that is why we're setting up this Intercom app, because the Intercom app is truly going to be your one source of communication. The reason for that is because if we're in the national feed breakout room and we're broadcasting the conversation between two CEOs, we don't want the chat enabled and to see all of those chat texts come through and then then being sent on to your Facebook or YouTube feed. We want the feed to be really, really clean of that conversation. So don't get reliant on the chat within Zoom, because next week it's not going to be enabled.
Yeah. All right, can we move on to some rooms? Is that all right? All right, so we have breakout rooms. In my example, I think I set up about 20. We'll probably have 20, 25 set up next week. Only a few of them are labeled. There's one called, so on the bottom right hand, excuse me, bottom right hand of your screen, you'll see 4 little squares that say breakout rooms. If you click on that, you'll see a list of rooms. One's called National Feed, one is called Tom's Room, one's called Matt's Room, and the rest just have a room number. What will happen is Serene from Citygate is putting together a list of the times and the room numbers that you will go to. And at that designated time, whether you're meeting with Tom or Matt, or maybe you just have 2 sites are meeting, maybe Eugene is meeting with Denver, okay, as an example, at that designated time, you're going to go to that room, and Serene's going to help facilitate that. But as an example, we can all go, and you're going to click on that room, and it's going to take you. Go ahead,
Nate. Sorry, can I pause real quick? Just because I'm starting to go through the emails of people requesting credentials. Hey, everybody, if you could help me out, I will respond to an email if you've already sent it. The 2 things that I need to create credentials are the person's first and last name, their email address, and their cell phone, because I use the last 4 digits of their cell phone for their password. However, I also am keeping a spreadsheet of everybody's contact information should there be an emergency that we need to reach out to the site. So in order to create a user account, I need the first and last name of the person, their email address, and their full cell phone, please. Thank you.
Yeah, great, no problem. So what we're going to do is Serene's going to help facilitate next week how people move in and out of rooms and which room and whatnot. But for purposes of today, what I would like is for everybody to go to the room called National Feed. Now, before you go there, what happens is when you click on the room and you click join this room, your screen will go black and it'll say connecting to this room. And then it will come back up and then you'll just see almost like what you're looking at right now. You'll see everybody that's in there as well. Now, for testing purposes, the National Feed has a TV. Our computer is pointing toward a TV with a news broadcast. It was the one I could get for free, so don't judge me on the news. And we'll go there, and this will be where you go if when we say, hey, there's a video that we want to show at the pre-designated times, or something like really amazing is going on, and we will send out a message through Unity saying, hey, if you're not doing anything, if you're not having a conversation right now, feel free to join this and send this national feed to your social media, because it's probably something really, really great going on. Another example is when you meet with Tom, you'll go to Tom's room. Now, Tom is going to stay in that room all the time. If your CEO is meeting with Tom at some point in time, Tom will be in that room all of the time. So generally speaking, for Tom's room, there should only ever be 2 people in there. Tom will be in there and you will be in there. There is the possibility that Mission Control will be in there or National Feed, but when it comes to Tom's room or Matt's room, there should never be a whole lot of people in there. Okay, so if you've gone in and somebody else is talking, you're probably in the wrong room. And the same is true for Matt. So what I want to do is have everybody go ahead and go to the national room. We're going to let you choose to do that on your own for right now. And then I will move over to that computer and give you some instructions from there. I'm gonna go.
Recording in progress.
On course of the second state visit to the
Speaker. All right, so you should be able to hear me, and I'm in the national feed room. Now, when you want to leave this room or any room, if you are in a breakout room, on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, there's a little white man going through a red door. I turned the TV off. Sorry, somebody's saying something about the TV. So I muted the TV. Everybody is able to hear me, I'm assuming. Okay, great. See none. There's a little button called leave room. When you click on that, you want to click the blue leave the breakout room. You do not want to leave the meeting. If you leave the meeting, you will leave Zoom completely. So just have to be really careful with that. You want to click the
Well, I guess it works.
I was about to say the same thing.
That was absolutely perfect.
I actually left the room when I was talking through. My apologies. So a little technical glitch there, my fault. But you want to click that leave room, and then that will take you back to the main session, which is mission control. So go ahead and we're going to leave this room and go back to mission control. How that kind of
Recording in
works, how
progress.
that clicks through, not too complicated. And then feel free to go ahead and I'm going to just spend a minute or two and just let everybody go and pop into another room. Pick a room, see if somebody else joins, and just play with that for a minute or two. And you can go into Tom's room if you want. You want to see if people are coming in and out of there. I'm going to go over to Cameron is going to be on. You'll know you're in Tom's room if you can see a sign that says Tom, and you'll know you're in Matt's room if you can see a sign that says Matt. Will you talk to them? All right, I can hear you in Matt's room. Everybody here, you're in Matt's room. Is this like you guys Matt? Can you guys hear me? Everybody's here. Are you able to hear me? Yeah, cool. All right. When comfortable, you can feel free to go back to the main session if you want. Not too bad, not too bad. So far, so good. We still have 17 people in other rooms, so I'm just going to wait for a minute for them to get out. Are there any questions? We have a question on the national Zoom link we received in the Citygate email is the one we'll all join. Yes. So the link that Bethany has sent out is going to be the primary link. I assume in some last minute email communications, we'll include that link again. One of the things I wanted to address was, let's just for example, say your CEO is having some amazing conversation, right? Like, this guy's just awesome. Or the governor shows up, right? Somebody that's like seems pretty important or high level, or this is a conversation that should be shared nationally. You want to communicate that to us via the Unity app, and somebody will respond. And then if nothing else is going on from a national feed perspective, then we'll have the national feed jump into your conversation, into your room, and join, and just so it's something that we can share, and then we'll send a message out to everybody and like, oh, hey, Greenfield's having this really amazing conversation. If you don't have anything going on, go ahead and join, right? So that's certainly something. Just communicate what's going on.
It'll be streaming on the TV.
Say again?
Someone asked if it'll be streaming on the TV.
Will it be streaming on the TV? The national feed? No, the national feed will be what ever we're sending, right? So a video, or quite frankly, if there's nothing particularly interesting going on, or it's 2 a.m., what the national feed will be sending out is a video of the mission control room, kind of like you see on NASA or SpaceX.
So one thing I was hoping to do, I asked that question, is if I wanted to try an audio test with a feed, that the national feed. So when you push a video, I was hoping to see if we could get the proper audio, because right now I'm hooked in to a different computer as a camera, and the audio is coming through really crackly. Is anyone else experiencing that right now?
Seems like that might just be yours.
Okay.
We are having a separate issue, Nathan. We are using Ecamm, and when we just went to the breakout rooms, it won't let us drop the breakout room Zoom into Ecamm. It says, what did it say? It said there was you don't have permission to record this. Is that a permissions thing on your end?
I can see Chris is thinking. I don't know the answer to that. We will research it. Okay. We will, whatever the buttons are, we will click to allow all recordings and permissions of sharing. So that's something that Chris and Serena and I will have to research for you. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
But
are there
right now,
people using Ecamm?
Yeah, no, Rodney Russell with the Love Lady Center. I had the same issue when I came back to just a minute ago. There was nobody else in the break room. It allowed me to add it. So it's when there's other people in there, it's not allowing me to add it.
I'm not sure of the answer to that. We'll have to research. The best thing to do in the meantime would be to just keep testing it. Get get 3 different computers on the same Zoom link, and try and.
Hey, Nate, Real
Yeah.
quick, whoever is having that issue, if there's a way, could you could try to replicate the issue, screenshot, like take a screen capture of the error that you're getting, and then send us an email. I'm happy to do some research and poking around, and even reach out to the Ecamm tech support team just to find out if it's an Ecamm setting or if it's a Zoom setting, and then that way we can get to the bottom of it. Unless you guys figure it out, and then I don't have Ecamm, so I can't replicate the issue.
Different kind of question. This morning with my team, or a church that kind of helping us out. Thanks to them, I am utilizing Restream, and as Restream will let you not only, screen share a window, but screen share like specific tabs. I was live streaming. We just create a Zoom link real quick, and had that on the live stream or like the live stream feed. And we didn't have any issues with it, and everything seemed to be working fine. And as we're using handheld microphones, I don't think that feedback will be an issue. And I know in like the tech books, it told us, one computer for live streaming and then another computer for the Zoom. And I was wondering if maybe there's any piece of advice that you can provide that's like, if I'm making a mistake by doing that, or if it's working, and just move forward with doing that. So I guess the question is, should I be using two computers to do this or not?
Nate, you want to take that, or you want me to?
You
This
go
is
ahead.
Winchester. In Winchester, we do the exact same thing. We just use Restream and we share the Zoom screen. It works flawlessly.
Praise the Lord. Okay, sounds good.
There you go. There you go. Wonderful. Solving things together.
I will just to throw this out there and caution, that the task of encoding, which is taking your video signal and turning it into ones and zeros and spitting it out to your various outlets. The task of encoding is pretty computer intensive. So when you start to combine tasks like doing a Zoom call, as well as taking that Zoom call and encoding it and then sending it back out, just make sure the caveat there is that your computer is beefy enough to do that. So make sure that you are putting it through its paces ahead of time, at which point, if it starts to fail, then that means that you need to break up those tasks into two different machines, one doing the Zoom call, one doing the encoding. Especially if you are a church using like a Restream or another streaming provider to stream to two different outlets. I used to work for a company called Resi, and so we would deal with streaming all the time. So just be careful, be aware of that.
So yeah, we have a MacBook Pro we streamed from when was that, January, the last time we did it, and it was sub-freezing temperatures outside, and it still worked flawlessly the whole time. Yeah,
no, that's awesome. And again, if it can work, if it works for you, great. But the only thing, being a technical person, is just like test and test often.
Can I jump on there real quick? It's one thing that we found having an issue is we are using two separate computers, and the problem has been getting the Zoom computer to communicate both audio and video correctly to the streaming computer. I think we got it, but that's the disadvantage of using two separate computers.
I wanted to address, somebody made a comment about crackling audio. So a couple of answers to that. Zoom is only as good as the weakest link, right? And if there is a weak connection or a microphone problem or your internet is really, really slow, it's going to do that typical Zoom jerkiness, right? That happens. You need to make sure you have a good, strong internet feed and network feed As we've suggested in the past, we highly recommend that you have your computers wired to your network. They don't have to be, but I strongly recommend they are. All of ours are going to be, because the wireless is just going to bog stuff down. And if you have somebody else or your own phone, lots of other employees or people around on the wireless, it's just going to suck up that bandwidth and slow down for everybody. So we do recommend wired. If you are able to run a couple of more Zoom tests with another person or another computer, we do recommend that. And just test out some of that noise, crackling sounds. It could be a connection is loose. It could be you're on a really, really slow computer. And I would recommend getting a different one. Or there's a bad wire in your microphone or something. So you can test that in a regular old Zoom session. You don't have to have us. If you just connect to another person that's in the office next door, right? So that's kind of my answer to that. Other pressing questions, or Bethany or Serene, what else do you feel like we need to cover?
Before Bethany Serene can jump in real quick, for those of you that have sent me an email to request credentials to the Intercom app, I'm obviously slugging through that right now. Initially, you will only see group one, the group one group. I want to go through and add all of these other users, and then allow access to all 16 groups at once. So just don't be afraid that as I'm sending you an email with your credentials, you log in and you're like, I am only seeing group one. It's a lot easier if I do access to all 16 groups in one batch. So just be aware. I will get to that very, very shortly.
A few folks have asked the question to do a test run of the